Right now, you probably have, I don't know, over 5,000 photos just sitting in your pocket.
Oh, easily.
Right, like a supercomputer full of the best, funniest, just most monumental moments of your life. And yet, statistically speaking, you are likely going to lose almost all of them.
Yeah, to dead hard drive or...
A forgotten password, a corrupted file, or just, general digital rot.
Hmm.
I mean, we are currently the most documented generation in the history of human existence, but we're leaving behind virtually no physical legacy.
It is a profound paradox. I mean, we've entirely shifted from intentional memory preservation to what is essentially information hoarding.
Hoarding. Wow, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right. We're capturing absolutely everything, but truly protecting almost nothing. When you take, 1,000 photos of a single event, the emotional weight of each individual image just drops to zero.
Which brings us to the mission for this deep dive. We're looking at how to fix that problem, specifically by examining how we curate our biggest life events.
Which is a huge task.
It is, and we're pulling our insights today from a really detailed, comprehensive guide provided by Weddizer.
Yeah, they're a platform dedicated to wedding planning and memory preservation.
Exactly. Their document is titled weddingphotoalbums.docs, and it's essentially a blueprint for how to build a physical artifact that will survive you. We're going to explore this fierce debate between timeless and trendy design, the brutal mathematics of photo curation.
It gets really brutal.
It does. And, the actual physical engineering required to make a book last for a century.
The Weddizer Guide makes a really compelling argument right off the bat. Creating a physical heirloom forces you into a completely different psychological state.
Because it's not just a digital folder.
Exactly. This isn't just about dumping pictures onto a page. It's an exercise in intentional emotional storytelling. You are taking this chaotic, beautiful, 12-hour sensory overload of a day and distilling it.
Distilling it into a deliberate narrative.
Right, a narrative that has to make sense to someone looking at it 50 years from now.
Right. But, I think we have to address the elephant in the room before we start talking about, layouts or leather
The
covers.
technology aspect.
Right. Why go backward? If I have a stunning OLED screen in my hands that makes colors pop incredibly well, and I can just text a gallery link to my aunt across the country in 2 seconds.
Sure, it's instantaneous.
Yeah. Creating a heavy physical book feels almost medieval at this point.
Well, convenience is absolutely the enemy of permanence here. The source material hits on this directly.
Mm-hmm.
A digital gallery is phenomenal for instant distribution, but it fundamentally lacks the tactile, emotional weight of a printed album.
Because a link in a text message is it's ephemeral.
Exactly. It's fleeting.
Mm.
A physical object takes up space in your home. It demands a totally different kind of interaction.
It makes me think about the difference between, doom scrolling on Spotify versus putting on an actual vinyl record.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Right. When you're swiping through 1,000 digital wedding photos while waiting in line for a coffee, you're just consuming content. It's disposable. Your brain isn't fully engaging.
It's just background noise.
Yes. But a physical album is the greatest hits vinyl record. You have to intentionally walk over to the shelf, pull it down, open the heavy cover, and physically turn the thick pages. The medium itself forces you to slow down.
The vinyl comparison actually touches on a concept known as embodied cognition.
Embodied cognition.
Okay, what is that?
Basically, our brains assign higher psychological value to things that have physical weight and texture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the Weddizer Guide outlines 3 distinct tangible benefits here. First, a printed album is an undeniable family heirloom. It becomes a literal artifact of your family history.
Right.
Second, it enforces curated storytelling rather than just a data dump. And third, which addresses that digital anxiety you mentioned earlier, it is a physical insurance policy against obsolete technology.
Because you never have to worry if the album is going to require a software update to open. Precisely. Cloud services shut down, subscription models change, or, JPEG formats might become unreadable in 50 years.
That's a terrifying thought.
It is. But high-quality archival printing is platform agnostic. It just works.
Think about your own life for a second. When was the last time you gathered your family around a glowing tablet, squinting at a screen, and felt that deep sense of connection?
Right, it doesn't happen.
No. Compare that to sitting around a coffee table, shoulder to shoulder, turning the pages of a book. So, assuming you're fully convinced to create this physical artifact, you immediately hit a massive roadblock.
The aesthetics.
The aesthetics.
Yeah, the design philosophy you choose dictates how future generations are going to interpret the event. The guide categorizes this into two opposing camps that are currently kind of fighting for dominance in the photography world.
Okay, let's hear them.
You've got the timeless approach on one side and the trendy approach on the other.
Okay, let's unpack timeless first. The guide describes this as being built entirely around elegance, simplicity, and extreme longevity.
Yeah. Very classic.
Visually, we're talking about neutral color palettes and classic editing. And by classic, they mean true-to-life colors. So the grass is genuinely green, the sky is its natural blue, skin tones look like actual human skin.
No heavy filters.
Right, no filters washing out the shadows. The layouts are incredibly clean, and the book itself is bound in high-quality materials like genuine leather or linen. It's very much tailored for traditional, elegant celebrations.
And what's fascinating here is this psychological goal of the timeless approach. It's basically invisibility.
Invisibility, what do you mean?
The design choices are meant to disappear entirely, so that the genuine, raw emotions of the day are the only things you actually notice.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the argument for this camp is that it's the ultimate safe investment. You are actively avoiding anything that places the photos in a specific fleeting era.
Which perfectly brings us to the other corner of the ring, the trendy galleries.
Oh, yeah?
The source outlines these as heavily incorporating current design movements. This is where you see editorial high fashion magazine layouts.
Very stylized.
Super stylized. You have full-page cinematic bleeds where the image goes right off the edge. You see bold typography. Maybe the couple's names are splashed across the page in some massive modern serif font.
Right, and the color grading is totally different, too.
Yeah, it mimics vintage film with moody, warm, golden brown washes. The cropping is artistic and unconventional. Very little white space. I mean, it is incredibly heavily inspired by social media aesthetics.
Basically, trendy layouts prioritize a striking, eye-catching visual personality. Instead of the subdued documentary feel of the timeless camp, the trendy approach essentially treats the couple like luxury fashion models.
Like they belong in Vogue.
Exactly. It's highly creative, and, in the current moment, it is undeniably visually arresting.
I am going to push back incredibly hard on the trendy concept, though.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am picturing those wedding portraits from the 1980s. You know the ones? The couple is inexplicably floating inside a giant brandy glass.
Oh my gosh, yes. Or the laser backgrounds.
The laser beam neon school photo backgrounds. At the time, that was the cutting edge of trendy. Or even like the early 2000s, where the entire photo was black and white, except for the bride's bright red bouquet.
Selective color, yeah. A classic trap.
If you commit to a trendy layout for a heavy, expensive physical artifact, aren't you just guaranteeing that you're going to be deeply embarrassed by it in 15 years?
The fear of your memories becoming a punchline is completely valid. It is the central vulnerability of leaning into any contemporary trend, and the Weddizer guide acknowledges this risk head-on.
So why do people do it?
Because the counter-argument is that a trendy style operates as a hyper-specific time capsule.
Right.
It captures the exact cultural vibe and the specific artistic expression of who you were at that exact moment in your life.
Okay, I see that.
It's bold, it's a louder expression of personality than a safe, timeless
Yeah.
book. But yeah, you are absolutely rolling the dice on how well that aesthetic will age.
It just feels like an impossible choice. You either design something that is safe, but potentially a little boring, or something incredibly exciting that might look ridiculous to your kids.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the photography industry has actually recognized this paralysis. And the Weddizer guide reveals the solution most top-tier professionals recommend today.
Which is?
You don't actually have to choose just one. You use the hybrid approach.
Okay, mixing oil and water. How does that actually work in practice without looking like two entirely different books mashed together?
It relies on understanding the emotional weight of different moments. The guide advises building the absolute foundation of the album on timeless principles, but selectively deploying modern editorial touches where they have the most impact.
Give me an example.
So, the ceremony, the vows, the ring exchange, the first kiss, those are the emotional anchors. You use clean, classic, timeless layouts with natural colors for those pages.
Because you never want bold typography distracting from the tears in a parent's eyes.
Exactly. You don't want a massive font blocking the emotion.
But then when you get to the creative portraits, like the couple walking down a city street or standing in a dramatic landscape.
That is when you introduce the bold magazine-style layouts. You drop in the cinematic full-page bleeds and the stylized typography. You keep the underlying color grading natural so the book feels cohesive, but you allow the structural layout to flex its creative muscles.
That is a brilliant compromise. You get the emotional resonance of a classic album with the visual punch of a modern fashion spread.
And completely insulate yourself from future regret.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because even if you nail the aesthetic balance, if you try to stuff